And just before they start, let's look at the scores from frees. And 7 from 7 for Cork, 2 from 5 for Waterford. So a difference of 5 there. 3 points between them, and John Mullane straight away into the action, and he's put it over. What a start for Waterford. Mullane's second point. And Michael Diagnan, you've been noticing some switches that Waterford have made.
Yes, Chair. Michael Walsh has gone out to the middle of the field, and they have a half forward line now of Dan Shanahan, Seamus Prendergast and Owen Kelly, and they've gone for size now in the half forward line, and they'll move out the field and try to crowd around the middle of the field and leave loads of room for Owen Kelly or John Mullane and Paul Flynn inside.
So the lighter, maybe livelier men are waiting inside for possession if it comes their way. Meanwhile, Niall McCarthy for Cork, their first attack drops short. Stephen Brenner, who had that awful moment after 3 minutes of the first half, out as far as Brian Phelan. On towards Michael Welch, now in the middle of the field alongside Dave Bennett. Towards John Mullane, 2 against him, it breaks down kindly for Dan Shanahan, and Dan has put it wide. Wonderful excitement. A compelling Munster hurling final. Donald O'Cusack from Cloyne. Towards Garvin McCarthy again, and again the ball is mopped up by the Waterford cover, and Cork concede a free to Michael Welch. Free from just inside Waterford's 65-metre line.
John Mullane was after striking Brian Murphy in the face there, but looked like they handled the hurl off the ball.
Well, let's see if we can got that, because the umpires will be critical here as Sean McMahon races in.
I was looking up the field and I saw it clearly.
You saw it?
Saw it clearly, handled the hurl into the face.
John Mullane could be in serious trouble.
Yeah, it looks like to me, if it was seen by the umpires, he has to go.
He's been called aside by Sean McMahon. Too fired up. If it's a clear striking offence, there's only one penalty. That's a red card. Did the umpire see it? 2.5 minutes into the second half.
Yeah.
It's red. John Mullane, one of the heroes of last year, when Waterford went close, has been sent off. It's a huge blow. We just saw the tail end of that. Caught for striking Brian Murphy.
He knows himself. You can see by his expression. It was a rush of blood to the head, and there was no argument from it.
Well, now it becomes a huge task for Waterford. They have a free. Ken McGrath, the taker. They've got to remain cool. Both sides have got to remain very focused. That comes out towards Flynn, and Paul Flynn knocks it over the bar. It's his third point. Now it might be his big day to show what he can do, to remind us all what a great hurler he is. But Waterford with the difficulty, playing 14 against 15. 17 points to 16. Waterford looking for the equaliser towards Dan Shanahan, having missed one earlier on, taking on Sean O'Halpine, having to start again, and Sean O'Halpine masters the situation, turns confidently, releases it outside to Wayne Sherlock, fumbles. Cork's backs needing Diarmuid O'Sullivan, their fullback, to knock it away, but out of play, and it obviously caught a Waterford player last, because the decision is going Cork's way. Well, that is an enormous body blow, as you say, a rush of blood to the head on the part of John Mullane, sent off after 2.5 minutes of the second half. Justin McCarthy will have legislated for everything and anything. I wonder, has he legislated for losing his number 13? His preparation is normally meticulous, but it's Ben O'Connor now raiding on the angle, striking, and the crowd behind the goal will tell you that it was nowhere near the posts. Diarmuid O'Sullivan now looks to be the man without anybody to mark. He's standing in front of the other backs, so he's kind of a loose half-back.
What you need now from the extra man is that he's decisive. What you often find is that, you know, one man might leave it to the other and leave it up to the extra man, and sometimes it causes confusion in the back line. 14 men, as we know, have often won in the past in major matches. They're trying to do it again as Paul Flynn gets to his feet. Brian Murphy's against him.
beats him that time. Can't direct it on target. Well, he's the scorer of 3 points so far in the match, one of them from a free. That got his scoring going. Long time on the road now, 30 years of age, Paul Flynn. Won an under-21 medal in 1992, beating Dara, remind you, awfully in that year's final after a replay. And that was the beginning of what people would thought would be a great era, a great decade for Waterford. Won Munster Senior Championship since then, but no All-Ireland. That's what they yearned for. Tony Brown patiently waiting for the line ball.
Waterford have really dug in the last couple of minutes. You can see it all over the field. Their attitude is right, you know. It mightn't be that big an addition to Cork to have that extra man now.
The atmosphere of the game has just changed a little bit. Players are tentative now following that sending off. Nobody wants to be the next off, if there is to be. Bit of caution required, and it's the extra man back there now to mop that up, and Waterford have got to adjust to that new situation. Tony Brown again, leaving it for Dave Bennett. Brown's in as well, spills away. Michael Welch, hand pass released towards Prendergast. Seamus Prendergast now on the 40, taking on Jerry O'Connor. Another couple of players coming to confront him. It's John Gardner now, happy having switched away off Dan Shanahan. Down, stopped by Owen Murphy, the little man in the corner from the Shamrocks club. Stopped easily by Tom Kenny in the centre of the field. Probing one in, Brian Corcoran's after. The keeper is happy to see it just go harmlessly out over the end line. A puck out to Waterford. 1 point the margin. Cork still winning here. O'Halpine one-handed down, acrobatically taking that one, juggling well. Murphy against the other man in the gold helmet, Deane, and it spills away here. Ken McGrath. Now McCarthy. It's tough, really tough going. Deane stepping away from the challenge, preparing himself well, settling his feet and driving it over. An 8th point of the match for Joe Deane, delighting the Cork fans at the town end of Thurles. Here it was again, a lot of bodies falling around that time. Deane, beautiful footwork, and he established his position really well to knock it over. So Cork stretched the lead, but only a little. It's towards Dan Shanahan, beating Sean O'Halpine. It's going right again. Waterford now need to continue to convince themselves that they can still win. Cork with the numerical superiority, and Ronan Curran driving it away down, touched on by Garvin McCarthy at right half forward. Jersey, the referee penalises James Murray, furious with Sean McMahon, but it's a free into Cork. Critical calls going Cork's way.
And the big advantage that Cork have is the goalkeeper Donald Cusack. With the extra man, he's the best goalkeeper in the country for a short puck out, and every time now you can see him, and that suits them because they don't want to be pucking the ball down to the Waterford half-back line.
So it's Ben O'Connor, takes them from the slightly longer range. It's just inside, yeah, no it's not. Well, looking at it from here, may have tailed at the very end there. It was borderline all the way because we're right behind the flight of the ball there, but the umpire says wide ball. Still 1:15 to 2:10, early stages of the second half. In the 9th minute, great catch. Curran again, down towards Ben O'Connor. James Murray there for company, runs on here. Murray returning it. Seamus Prendergast drops away there from the hands of Ronan Curran to the other number 6, Ken McGrath, the Mount Sion man. Beautifully caught by Sean O'Halpine. What a game he's playing. Released to Brian Murphy, playing in his first Munster Hurling final. Timmy McCarthy, an old stager, he's played in the All-Ireland final of 1999. Angling this one in, 2 against 2, and the goalkeeper there to make it 3 for Waterford. Security provided by Stephen Brenner. Dave Bennett racing after, good tackle, well done by Tom Kenny that time. First touch not great, didn't come up for him. Trying to link up with Garvin McCarthy. Looking for support, plenty of support available. The centre half back, Ronan Curran loses his stick. Bad marking by Owen Murphy on Joe Deane. He has the chance of adding to Cork's situation. Scores, fumbled by a nervous Stephen Brenner. Made a recovery. Ronan Curran back reunited with his stick. Waterford standing back now in this phase of the game, shattered by the dismissal of John Mullane, and the centre half back comes up to score. Ronan Curran from the bars. One of Cork's most famous clubs. And it's 116 to 210. That's a great catch by Michael Welch. Waterford need a couple of steadying scores. They're still very much in it. Owen McGrath, player of great talent, to Paul Flynn, striking poorly. He's missed a good chance. Yes, he was challenged, but it was still a good chance. Let's take a look at this a little while back there. Michael Welch coming up to take that. David O'Sullivan from the short puck out as we were watching the reprise of that. Back live, it's Ken McGrath. One man who will give the leadership. Outside towards Tony Brown. Loses the stick. Timmy McCarthy was the one who's lost it. Broken stick. Niall McCarthy. Looking for a way through. Being forced wide. Never really controlled that terribly well. The man from Carricktool.
He caught that ball 3 times as well. I think the Waterford players are getting a little bit frustrated. Maybe reckon some of the frees aren't going their way.
Cork with 6 wides now at this stage, but they still have the lead. 116, 19 points, 210, 16 points. Free in. Waterford's free. Dan Mullane feeling his hand. Ronan Curran, that was some spectacular score by Curran, but then he was given a bit too much latitude, and Ben O'Connor being attended to in there by Declan O'Sullivan from Blackrock, the physio. That's gone wide. It's a horrible opening. 12 minutes to the second half for Waterford. Paul Flynn with the miss there. Waterford with 12 wides now. Far too many. They need a lift from somewhere. Cork trying to consolidate. Ben O'Connor, their captain this year. It drops short. Brenner taking it into his chest. Well, the intensity couldn't continue like we had in the first half, but it'll come again with a bit of luck. Flynn striking, and that's a nice return. Paul Flynn has hit his 4th point. This could be the day that Paul Flynn delivers a victory in this year's championship. Taken off in the last 2 matches against Clare and Tip, but he's now bagged 4 points.
And in fairness, he was after missing 2 or 3 chances, and he showed great leadership there to step up and hit a great score for Waterford.
Cork are making the extra man count at the back. Ronan Curran now coming in for a pop, and he has put it wide. That's real wastage, and I'm sure that some of the forwards inside, in particular Brian Corcoran, is probably saying, give us a chance.
This is what happens though, when you're playing with a strong wind, you tend to go for those long range speculative shots, you know. Ronan Curran has come into the game very much since half time.
Tony Brown. Ken McGrath beautifully taken in his stride. What a player. Oh, there's a tumble there. A collision with Wayne Sherlock there and Owen McGrath. Accidental, but it means a free into Waterford. A little ticking for the number 2, Wayne Sherlock. Here it is as he was held back. Again, Owen McGrath is one of those players who really could explode onto the scene at any moment. Paul Flynn about to take it. This to put the minimum between them. Well within his range. It's only about 30 metres out, 35 maybe. Breeze against him. That's over. Good work by Paul Flynn. He knows what has to be done, and the fans know. They believe that it's possible. They want to win back the title. The Munster Cup they held in 2002, and right now Waterford are about to bring on Paul O'Brien, the goal hero, against Tipperary last time out, and it's Dave Bennett who's going off. So a rearrangement of the furniture in midfield will be required, and Paul O'Brien from Tullow man going in there to left corner forward. Here's Brian Phelan, misses it. Lovely pick up, great skill here by Ben O'Connor. 2 men against him, he lofts it high, the breeze carries it inside the left-hand post and over. Wonderful score by the richly talented Ben O'Connor. 3 points for Ben. 117 to 212. Cork stretch it again. Only 15 minutes into the second half, however. Dan Shanahan bustling, winning the free. It could easily now become a battle of the free takers. Just look at this pick-up again here a little while back from Ben O'Connor, and you know what happened next. The referee telling Paul Flynn to take it back just a little bit. Well, the last time a referee told a player to take it back from a free, you remember in the Limerick match, it dropped into the goal. Will Limerick ever forget? Flynn goes for a goal, he's got one! My goodness me! Only Paul Flynn could think of it! 16 minutes into the second half. Amazingly, Cork were expecting him to just lob it over. There's where it finished, top right-hand corner of the net as we look at it. And Waterford have taken over here 3-12 to 1-17. Paul Flynn with 1-5, and there's a player down on the deck.
McCarthy is down.
It's the first time that Waterford lead in the match, and the referee is calling across. Well, the umpires have certainly called across the referee first of all, and it's going to be interesting to see just what happened. Ken McGrath and Garvin McCarthy were the two players involved in the altercation. And what will the referee do here? Waterford are already down to 14 players, and it's a case of what did the umpires tell the ref? We didn't see, we were still looking at the replay of the goal again and again and again. It's only one goal. Now the referee's calling them across. Garvin McCarthy and Ken McGrath. 15-man Cork being led by 14-man Waterford.
Waterford deserve great credit for the way they've stayed at it in the second half, having John Mullane, probably their best forward all year, sent off. They're showing great heart. Whether Paul Flynn meant that or not, I don't know.
It's 21 points to 20 in Waterford's favour, and I hope you're good at the maths from here on in. I was missing from school the day we were doing counting. I was out a hamstring injury to my mouth, but we're still there. Only a point in it. Deane, angled shot, it's good! Deane with his 9th point in this epic Munster final, and the teams are level. Level for the first time, can you credit it, since the match started at 4 o'clock. And it is a match, a real, wonderful, lively championship match in the best spirit of All-Ireland and Munster championships. Dropped in there by Tom Kenny, lost by the goalkeeper, lost by everybody, and in the end it went off the back, and it's a 65. I think the keeper probably touched it last. 118, that is 21 points, 3-9, 21 points. Cork have the extra man. They've had it since the 3rd minute of the second half, but that's about it.
Yeah, they're not making great use of it though. They're playing an awful long ball in over their full forward line and wide, you know, and instead of, I think, to play a little bit cuter, move their half forward line out the field a bit and let the ball in front of Ben O'Connor and Deane, they have the win of the game.
Ben O'Connor to take this first 65 of the match, just inside the 65-metre line, and that is over the bar. Cork lead again. Ben O'Connor's 4th point. What a contest. Whoever wins here, apart from being Munster champions, they go through right to the All-Ireland semi-finals, and the loser will go into the qualifiers. The draw, which will be made, of course, later on this evening on the Sunday game here before we leave Thurles. Coming up after this, deferred showing of the Leinster football semi-final, that of course between Westmeath and Wexford, and the draw's coming up shortly afterwards, hurling and football. Great afternoon's entertainment on the Sunday game live. Niall McCarthy on his left-hand side has dropped it to his left, and it's a horrible wide. Just after Cork went a point up from the 65 by Ben O'Connor. He has yet to score, Timmy McCarthy has yet to score. On the Waterford side, Seamus Prendergast and Michael Welch of the starting forwards, they have yet to score. Prendergast under the dropping ball here, he takes it down well. Release to Owen Kelly. The dashing wing forward, that's a great score! They go point for point on an afternoon of magnificent skill and craft. The great old code is being demonstrated to its very best. Watch again as Kelly was left a little bit too much room by O'Halpine, but enough to get it between the posts. Who's going to get the next one? Ken McGrath trying to bustle his way through. Lots of Cork players there. Brian Phelan nursing it to himself, feeding it forward again towards Owen Kelly, on towards Owen McGrath. McGrath taking a couple of Cork players on. One of them is John Gardner. Ronan Curran is the next in with a challenge. It runs on towards Dan Shanahan, runs away. Up again towards Paul O'Brien. There was a bit of a chop down and the referee says free into Waterford. A chance for Waterford here, only about 30 metres out. "22 points against 22 points. Waterford can go in front now with the striking of Paul Flynn. That's his angle. Donal O'Cusack ready, just in case he would have the audacity to do what he did a little while back, about 5 minutes ago. Measuring it up. Flynn going for a point this time. He does the conventional, and Waterford lead. And he's the scorer of a goal and 6 points, and he could be the day's hero after a season which carried some disappointments for the great Ballygunner player. Niall McCarthy is being replaced in the Cork half-forward line, and coming on is Jonathan O'Callaghan from Castletown Roach, John Joe O'Neill country. So a switch by Cork, and Ronan Curran holding it up on the half-back line, waiting for the extra man. The extra man is their number 3, Diarmuid O'Sullivan, one-handed forward. Jerry O'Sullivan trying to carry it on. Or Jerry O'Connor rather trying to carry it on. It runs away here, and it's collected once again by a very alert Ken McGrath. Nicely on here, Seamus Prendergast has support ahead of him. 3 or 4 Cork players after him. He was a bit ponderous. He needed to get it in faster than that.
Which are the contrasting styles from the puck out is amazing. Donal O'Cusack is looking for the sharp one all the time.
This was some block, but there were 2 against 1.
Donal O'Cusack's puck out looking for the short one because they can't win the long one. And then on the other hand, Seamus Prendergast and Dan Shanahan are winning everything in the air from Seamus Benner's long puck outs. It's great to watch. A super game. What scoring we're having here.
Well, Cork now conceding the freeze to Waterford, whereas Waterford have tightened up at the back. Let's give them credit. 22 and a half minutes, 3 minutes, 23 minutes into the second half. They've not given away silly close-in freeze to Deane. That's a good strike, but it's going right, still in play. Sean O'Halpine rises up imperiously, takes it out here to John Gardner. Hooked brilliantly by Prendergast. They're battling Waterford, the 14 men against the 15 of Cork. Paul Flynn, if at first you don't succeed, try again, and you still might fail. He has. Some game.
Well, Flynn has got a couple of great scores, and he's had a few bad wides. I suppose that's typical Paul Flynn.
23 to 22. Oh, Diarmuid O'Sullivan, what's he doing? Linking up with his goalkeeper. They work it out, the short puck up, but the referee is whistling up. Well, now, what's the referee asking them to do?
He's giving a free out for what I don't know.
This is John Gardner. There was a hoop there by Seamus Prendergast. Well, nothing that I saw. I was checking it later. Anyway, it results in a free to Cork. 20 metres from their own goal. Diarmuid O'Sullivan, the taker. 23 points to 22. Waterford lead this, and they're in the attack again. Diarmuid O'Sullivan bats it outside. Ronan Curran, down it goes nicely. Jonathan O'Callaghan, the new man in. Can he make a difference? He's in there against Brian Phelan as Garvin McCarthy has gone into the 40, and that's going to be a free to Waterford. They've weathered something of a storm. Watch it again here, O'Callaghan. He was being dragged around, but the referee says steps taken, and it's got to be a free to Waterford. And now vital decisions are going against Cork and going Waterford's way. Ken McGrath inside his own 65 in the beautiful sunshine of Thurles. They were belting on that one. McGrath missed it, but it comes back to Paul Flynn. Quick as you like, nice as you like, but it's put in wide on this side of the field, and I'm sure all over they thought it was over the bar. Live on their nerves. 10 minutes to go. Does either side deserve to lose?
I think Waterford should be further ahead. Paul Flynn has missed maybe 4 or 5 good chances there in the second half. They're all over Cork now.
It's a great spell for them. They've shown character and resilience. McGrath dropping it in. O'Brien was waiting. Still has the opportunity. Paul O'Brien outside to Paul Flynn. Aware that he was about to be challenged. That looks okay. It's good and at the kill line, and it's gone over the bar. Paul Flynn strikes it brilliantly. By my tally, it's a goal and 7 for Paul Flynn.
That's what makes him the genius that he is. Simple ball in front of the goal just a minute ago. Next thing he's out on the sideline, but he's back to the goal and he puts it over.
You got to credit his manager, Justin McCarthy. I think really put it up to him in the last couple of matches, saying, you can produce, now don't hide any longer, go and do it. He's doing it.
I think he deserves all the credit. If Waterford want to win this game, he's the man that have done it for them.
Absolutely. Ken McGrath misses. Garvin McCarthy trying to scoop it up to himself. Michael Welch, Ken McGrath, fresh air puck. Garvin McCarthy's after it. Tom Kenny's there as well. And it's won by Waterford's Michael Welch, getting it out here to Owen McGrath. The shoulder there by Gardner on Seamus Prendergast. Good work by Prendergast. Cork dropping back, losing their intensity a bit. Now they need a lift. Michael Welch. Welch going forward, has support inside. It's Owen McGrath. Run into a stiff challenge from Diarmuid O'Sullivan. The referee says play on. It was a well-executed shoulder. Comes out here into the centre. They get it away. Further out of trouble. That was Jerry O'Connor. Back to his brother Ben, back to Jerry O'Connor again. The twins combine. Newton Chandran together with a lovely score. And it's Jerry O'Connor's second point. A point that will be cheered all over Cork and further afield, you can be certain.
I don't think we'll see a better score this year. It's what they did all year with Newton Chandran, playing the 1-2.
2 from 2 for Jerry O'Connor. Waterford leading by a point still. Ronan Curran. Brian Corcoran just slipped that time. He's not in the match as much in the second half. Didn't get a good supply of ball. Here he is challenging James Murray. They try to work it away through Declan Prendergast. Oh, it's a bad ball into the centre. The one man you don't want to give it to. Jerry O'Connor has got a great engine. Joe Deane came that time off the legs of Owen Kelly. What a match. How will it finish? Referee's going to blow the ball up, or blow it up and throw the ball in. 7 minutes to go of a pulsating Munster hurling final. The Leinster hurling final, of course, coming up next Sunday, and Michael Dignall alongside me will have a big interest there. Offaly against Wexford. How are the preparations going there?
Not too bad, Gerald. I tell you, it'll be hard to repeat what we're watching here today. What a game of hurling down in Thurles. If we can get the game half as good next Sunday, we'll be doing well.
Well, that'll be live in the Sunday game as well. Brian Phelan getting the attention. Let's have a look at the possession stats. And Waterford, 6 percentage points better off than Cork. And after 28 minutes of the second half. Full credit to both teams. A wonderful contest. Shamie Hannon there alongside Justin McCarthy. The other selectors, of course, as well. We heard Nicky Cashin talking to Tony O'Donoghue at half-time. Kevin Ryan and Jerry Fitzpatrick, their physical trainer, as Cork prepared to bring on Kieran Murphy from Sarsfields. So a second for Sarsfields player involved, but he's replacing his clubmate Garvin McCarthy. Referee to throw the ball in. On my watch, 6 minutes of the 70 to go. Waterford just shading it. Prendergast. And the referee there saw a bit of pushing, and he's given the free to Cork. Sean O'Halpine fired up. The wide so far, Waterford have been more profligate with 14 against 8 for Cork. wasted opportunities. Oof, he is laying down the law. Who can blame him? Great-hearted player. And they're in the square already, and it's going to be a free out. John Gardner struck that, but they were waiting inside. Will it be a disappointing day for John? Will they have to settle for the qualifiers? It's still very, very tight. You daren't take your eyes off this. Shane O'Sullivan is going to come in. Owen McGrath is the player who has come off the Waterford team. It's 24 points to 23. Waterford leading by just one. Cork with possession. 5 minutes to go of the 115th Munster Hurling final. And gradually Justin McCarthy has been building up a good panel of players. It's not just 15 or 16 anymore. He's got at least 20, 21 men who can come in and do a right good job. Sean O'Halpine from the Piershig in Cork. Down towards Brian Corcoran. He just runs away from him. Whoops. Nearly injured himself by colliding with the advertising hoarding and the structures at the end there. But that's another opportunity of possession wasted by the men in red. Yeah,
and it'll be interesting to see, Waterford had to put in a huge effort physically to stay in this game. What has it taken out of him? And Jerry O'Connor is one man I'd be afraid of from a Waterford point of view. There's a great engine on him and he's going to run all day.
Timmy McCarthy looking to try and level it. He's put it wide. Well, it was a great chance for Timmy McCarthy. Hasn't scored in the game, and what a time that would have been to tie it up. 4 minutes left.
Seamus Brenner has to look for his big men with the puck outs. He put Tony Brown under pressure there and he put the last one out over the line. He needs to play Seamus Prendergast and Dan Shanahan in the air.
The meeting of the champions in Munster of the last 2 years. Vital possession here now for both teams. It runs on towards Waterford and won back by Cork. And the man who is dominating the exchanges right now, Jerry O'Connor to Jonathan O'Callaghan. Towards Timmy McCarthy. Tony Brown's alongside him, but minding the house, being very vigilant as ever, is Ken McGrath. Looking around and spotting Owen Murphy loose, nobody marking him. Deane had got away from him. It's won back by Sean O'Halpine. Who's going to win it if there's going to be a winner today? Wayne Sherlock down towards Timmy McCarthy, won by Tony Brown of Waterford. One of the greatest Munster finals I've seen. Huge one, stopped by Dermot O'Sullivan. Great ball down, testing the defence. Spills loose, Cork have it. An opportunity, Jerry O'Connor was trying to go through, and it's away, and the opportunity fell there just moments ago to Kieran Murphy, and Waterford have it back, and it's up there with Seamus Prendergast. 2 minutes to go as Prendergast lets fly. It's high, it's over! What a point! Seamus Prendergast, his first point of the day. 2 points the margin, and 1 minute of additional time to be played at the end of the 70. Cork go back into the attack, and that one is dropped over the bar by Tom Kenny. We're back to a 1 point game with Kenny's third accurate strike for a point. 3:16, 1:21, 25 points to 24. And I'm keeping my fingers crossed that the maths are right.
Owen Kelly is out on his feet in the middle of the field, and Jerry O'Connor is running into all sorts of positions. He was straight in for a goal there, except for a bit of luck. Owen Kelly has to stay close to him.
Brian Phelan belting it forward. Survival now here. Victory is within the grasp of both teams. It's going to be an awful game to lose, and a fantastic, fantastic victory for the winner. Cork are making a late change. John Gardner's going off. Coming on for Cork is Cian O'Connor from Erin's Own. That's Brian Corcoran's club. Coming close to the end of the 70. Waterford still hanging on by a point. 25-24, and Waterford have a free and the Waterford subs are on the side of the field. The fans are on their feet. They believe that finally they can end a hoodoo which has lasted 45 years since they last beat Cork in the Munster final. The champions of 2002 are close, but they're up against the battlers and the champions of 2003. Dan Shanahan taking on Sean O'Halpine. You won't find better sport or better drama anywhere today, on any network, wherever you go. The homegrown stars of top-class hurling in action in Semple Stadium. We're in injury time, 30 seconds to go. Waterford leading by a point. Waterford attacking, pressure on Wayne Sherlock. Cork have got to try and score here. First of all, they need to get the ball down to Ronan Curran. The referee has a look at the watch, says play on. Ken McGrath makes a fantastic catch. That could be a match winner on its own for the 14 men of Waterford. What a day, what a match. If the rest of the season is half as good, stand by for the fireworks between now and the end of September.
Hurling has needed this game, Jared. It's been a lacklustre enough summer so far, but what a game. And if Waterford hang on and win this, I think it'll go down as probably their greatest win. They've been around for the last 6 or 7 years, but to lose their best forward, John Mullane, so early in the second half, they showed great heart and determination, and all credit to them.
They're close, the fans know it. Jack Kennedy has just come in as a late switch there. The 14 men have a free. Paul Flynn, whose goal was so important, drops it in, saved by Sean O'Halpine, and that is it! Waterford have won the Munster hurling final for 2004 by just a point, in as fine a game as you're ever likely to witness. The winners in 2002 have beaten the victors of 2003. 2 championship wins for Justin McCarthy and his squad in 3 seasons. 2 out of 3 ain't bad. What a day for Dacia hurling. What a day for sport